guys, it's Jessica from Peace Love Books, and Shame here with a tier ranking video. My members voted on what video they wanted next, and this was the one they wanted me to film first, so I'm very excited for this. I'm chatting about TikTok romances that are taking over TikTok, that got popular because of TikTok, that everyone on TikTok has read, and I'm telling you my thoughts on them. So I'm tier ranking them in different categories, so I'm very excited to chat about these because I am on TikTok. I check out what people are reading. I do see the TikTok tables at Barnes & Noble, and what's interesting is though a lot of these I read pre-TikTok, and it's really interesting to see which ones get super popular and a ton of people read them after they've been out for a while. So I'm excited to chat about these. I'm going to be tier ranking them though. I have a list of 5 different categories of what I think of them. These are all ones that I have read before, so if you think I'm missing something, it's because I haven't read it yet. But there are 32 books on this list that I'm going to be going through. So we have highest tier is On My Mind 24/7. This is one of my favorite books, and I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with it. I love it. Highly recommend. Then we have really good. So I really enjoyed this one. I'd recommend it as well. I was pleasantly surprised. Definitely agree with the hype on TikTok. Then we have Meh. It was fine. It's not like I didn't like it, but it's not like I loved it. I'm like, I don't see what's so special about this book. It's okay. Don't know if I'd recommend it, but it was fine. Then we have Didn't Like It. So this is like, I didn't like it. I know people love it on TikTok, but it was just not for me. It was fine. The last one is Wish I Never Read It. So this is, wow, this was so bad that I'm annoyed that I even picked this up because of the recommendation. I have experienced this. I know other people have experienced this. I don't always 100% enjoy the books that I read because of TikTok, so that's why I usually see a book on TikTok and then I go and see what my friends think of it, what people on Instagram and YouTube are saying about it before I pick it up. So I have been burned by this before, but we'll kind of get started. So I believe I am screen recording this. I always forget. So we have a bunch of books here. So the first one is Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. This one I read when it came out. I'm a huge fan of Colleen Hoover. I've been reading her for like 10 years. I really like this book. I know there are a ton of Colleen Hoover haters out there. Like I said, I'm a fan. This one was super emotional. It's not my absolute favorite by her, but I still really love this one. So I would put it at really liked it because, again, it was emotional. I was surprised by the twists that were in here. Colleen's old books, at least, usually had like really good twists that I was just like mind blown and obsessed with. So definitely really good. Definitely also her spicier book because her other ones aren't as much. But the next one is The Deal by Elle Kennedy, which again, I was reading these when they came out. I remember vividly reading the score in my apartment at like 12 o'clock at night because I could not put it down. But The Deal, I'm also going to put in really good. I love the series so much. However, The Deal isn't my favorite of them. I mean, I loved Hannah and Garrett together, and it's like, isn't it fake dating and like kind of lessons in seduction, I feel like, but I like others in the series better. So it's not on my mind 24/7, but it's something that's really good. I did finally read Priest this year, and I'm putting Priest, I don't know. I feel like it's between really good and meh, it was fine. I feel like I'm gonna put it was fine. I think I ended up giving this 4 stars, but I think it was more on the very low side of 4 and more like 3.5. I liked it, but I thought there'd be more in it, and I wish we had dual perspective in this one because it is a priest romance. The heroine comes in and they have a good time in the church together, but I did feel like I didn't know her as much. Like I really knew him and his grapples with why he was a priest and things that happened in his past and his family, but her, she was still pretty much a mystery to me, and I would have loved to know much more about her. So I'm gonna put it was fine. I know some people are obsessed with this series. I am reading Sinner. I'm still halfway through and it's been like 2 months. We're not gonna talk about it, but that's gonna go in May. It was fine. A Thousand Boy Kisses I read like 5 years ago. I don't remember how long ago it was, but I remember vividly reading this during Christmas break, and I was bawling my eyes out on the couch, but my dog was in my lap and I could not get a tissue. So this one really hit me. However, it is not a traditional romance, but I really liked it. I liked it when I read it. I feel like I would probably like it now if I read it again because it was just very emotional, and like the turmoil he went through because they were childhood sweethearts, obsessed with each other. He had to move away. She cut off communication, and now he's back and he's changed so much because of what he went through. I really appreciated it. I love what the title stands for. So I like this book. I'm gonna put it in really good. I know people hate it, especially because just know it does not have an HEA at the end. So know that, but I really liked it. A little controversial, I feel, but It Ends With Us is one of my favorite books of all time. I'm putting it on my mind 24/7. I love this book so much. It had such an emotional effect on me, and I just loved Lily's journey she went through and seeing her grapple with things that are very emotional and just the reality of so many people that people do not understand why they go through that. She does have an abusive relationship, so know that this heavily deals with abuse in a relationship, and it was just, eye-opening to read as someone who has never experienced that before, and understanding the perspective of someone who might be in that relationship and why they might stay, how they might leave, what the options are. And Colleen Hoover did write this with inspiration from her mom's own story, so reading that author's note also really hit home for me. So I just love this book so much. And Atlas I loved. I didn't love book 2 as much, but I really love this book. Wall of Winnipeg and Me, I don't know where I would put this. I need to reread this. I read this so long ago and I remember loving it. It was actually my first Mariana Zapata book, but I don't know if I would say it's on my mind 24/7. So I'm gonna put in really, really good. This is a football romance. She is his assistant and then they have to get fake married, but they do get married, I think, because he needs it to be able to stay in the US because he's Canadian and he's a football player. Like I said, it's been like at least 5 years since I read this one too. So I need to reread it, but definitely a good Mariana Zapata book. This one makes me so happy that I got popular on TikTok. I read it like a couple months before it blew up, which the timing was really crazy. So I love this. I was telling everybody to read it and then all of a sudden TikTok discovered it and they were all just getting super excited about it, and I highly, highly agree with this because this one is about a serial killer and she starts dating an FBI profiler, and I love romantic suspense. I need to read more of that, and this one was very dark. She went through something really horrific in her past, and then that's why she turned around and is a serial killer, and you uncover why throughout the 5 books. They're 5 novellas, they're like 150 pages I think around there, but literally cannot put these down. And he's also hunting another serial killer, and she was just amazing. She is such a strong character and I was rooting for her. Even though she was literally a serial killer, I wanted her to get her happy ending because she was just amazing. So love that series so much. The Kiss Quotient, it makes me so happy that this one is one of them because I love this when it came out. This one, is it what, Stella and Michael, I think was their names. This was a Lessons in Seduction as well. He does get hired to date and do other things with people, and Stella hires him because she wants to learn intimacy because she isn't really good with that, and it was amazing. I do need to reread this as well because I think I read this as an ARC before it came out, and so it has been a long time since I've read this, but very excited that this is popular, but I love all 3 books in this series as well. This one has been a long time since I've read this too, Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. I think this might be Lacey's from Lacey Book Lover's favorite, and I ended up reading it, but this one's really good as well. I really enjoy this one. This one is one of my favorites by Christina Lauren because a lot of their most recent ones I have not been enjoying, but this one was a childhood friends to lovers, but they were torn apart and now they're back together, and I don't remember a lot about it because like I said, it's been a long time since I picked up this book, but I enjoyed it. It was an emotional read. I really liked it. Not meh, fine. From Luke Off With Love is gonna go in. This one is one of my favorites. I love this one so much. Lukov's character, especially when you get to know him and his animals, that's my favorite part of this book. But they are figure skaters and they don't like each other. He is her best friend's brother, I believe, and they have to skate together. This is one I definitely want to reread, but I know I loved this one so much. Highly, highly recommend. Birthday Girl. I love this one, but I don't know if it'd be an all-time favorite of mine. I'm gonna put Birthday Girl at really, really good. I love that TikTok has discovered Penelope Douglas and actually loves them, and I have a few Penelope books in here as well, but Penelope's my favorite. I love their books so much. Like I said, I've been reading them for a long time too. I started with Bully and Fall Away and Until You. I started with the Bully series. It was really great. Block by Kate Stewart, I'm gonna put at Matt. It was fine. I know there's people that are obsessed with this series, but I think I just gave them all baseline 3.5 stars. I wasn't obsessed. I don't love it when series change love interests, which is what this did. I don't know how I felt about the final love interest. It was okay. I was just reading to finish the series. It was not my favorite. It wasn't as amazing as people said, and I'm still confused. There's so many parts of the series and I'm I don't even know what you were doing, and I don't know if we were supposed to know or we're just supposed to be confused. I don't know. This is going better than I thought it would be, but also because we haven't gotten to the ones I haven't liked yet. So this next one is The Unhoneymooners. I love The Unhoneymooners. This is probably the last Christina Lauren book that I gave 5 stars. This one is such a good fake married romance. They went to their, I don't know if it's just their friends or their siblings' wedding, and everyone ate the buffet but them. The buffet they all got food poisoning from it, and so the bride and groom can't go on their honeymoon. It's non-refundable. I think it was her sister because they have the same last name, and so she was able to use her ID, I think. I don't remember. They looked at whatever it was. She was able to use her ID and he was too, and they go on the honeymoon together, even though they hate each other, and they are not married, and they fall in love, and it was really good. It was so cute. It was one of their first ones that was fade to black, so I was a little taken off guard, but it was really good. Okay, so this one's one of the first bad ones. So Zodiac Academy, I did not like this book whatsoever. This one was very confusing. It was like a boarding school, but like the heroines, I think it's about twins, barely any romance in this one, and they kept on trusting people that were obviously out to get them. I'm like, why would you go to this party with people who already said they hate your guts and then something bad happens to you and you act surprised? I cannot deal with characters who don't make smart decisions, and it was not like dramatic in a good way, so I definitely will not be finishing the series, and I'm annoyed that I read it, so yeah. We have Credence. This one's also going to go in really, really good. I love Credence. It's not an all-time fave, but Credence is definitely something that took me off guard. I was very surprised reading it in that it was a step-uncle, step-cousin romance where she has fun times with all of them. And it was so entertaining. Like, I really enjoyed it. I remember reading it as an arc, so I did not know what I was in for. I was just like, new Penelope Douglas book, let's see what we have here. And I was like, whew, was not expecting that, but so many scenes. I mean, this could easily go in the next category though, because so many scenes live in my mind that I'm just like, I remember. And I had a good time, so I really liked it. Beach Read is actually one that I really, really liked. So I think I have all three Emily Henry books, and this is my favorite. So I do think Emily Henry is an author that is very, very, very hyped, but I would not say she's like the most amazing romance author ever. Her books are good, but I think they do appeal to non-romance readers, and that's why they sell so much. Beach Read was my favorite. It has like rival writers that were rivals in college, and they have cottages on the beach next to each other, and the heroine though is really grappling with the death of her father. I think he was cheating on her mom, or like had a relationship she didn't know about, and so it's very emotional, but I loved their writing dates, and I love this. I just love this book. They would like write watching each other through the window and like write notes to each other. It was adorable. I loved it so much. Then we have Throttled by Lauren Asher. I don't know where I want to put this. I feel like it again would be between really, really good and meh, it was fine. Like, I feel like it was fine is not a bad category though. Like, Throttled, I wanted a little bit more from it, and I feel like I'm gonna really enjoy the rest of the series. Like, I could see the potential there, and I do have the fine print by Lauren Asher too, which is later down. But this one I enjoyed. I thought I would like it a lot more than I did, but I do like F1 racing romances now, and I'm very excited for more. This one, I don't even remember. I think she gets a job working because her brother is one of the racers too, and he might be the rival. I don't remember the plot of this one either because I read it a couple years ago. Maybe it was last year I read this one, but it's been a while since I've read it, and I don't remember a lot about it. So, I mean, that also tells you it was good. It was fine. I liked it, but nothing super special. Spanish Love Deception, I feel like, again, it's gonna go between these two, but it was more so really good. It was fun. It was a fake dating, a wedding romance, and they worked together, and he was mean to her because he liked her kind of thing, and I liked it. It could have been shorter. This went on a little too long, but I can see the hype. I see why people loved it. I really enjoyed it as well. Don't get mad. People Who Meet on Vacation I'm gonna go and didn't like. I was very bored by this book. It's Friend to Lovers. It's a not second chance because like something happened in the past. They would always travel together. They were best friends. Something happened. They stopped talking. Now they're traveling again, and I hate when we keep a secret for the entire length of the book. We don't know what broke them up from each other being friends until way later, and it was so anticlimactic and so boring, and I was like, that's the reason you're not talking to each other and why we have this whole book. I was annoyed. It was just a fine romance. I wasn't obsessed with any of the romance or the characters or the plot even. It was just, I can't even tell you what the plot was. They went on vacation together, and that's all I remember. This was very forgettable to me, and I didn't love it. The Addicted series, I read this book when I first got on YouTube, and I was on YouTube in 2015, so this series I've loved. I still have only read half of it because I stopped reading it, and then I saw everyone fall in love with it, and then I got FOMO, and then I never finished it, and I keep on saying I'm going to, but I love the Addicted series. It's not an all-time favorite, but I see why everyone's obsessed with it. It has a great cast of characters. I read the first half of like the whole of the universe, so I've read some Calloway Sister series, and I've read some of the Addicted series, and I will say that Reich and Daisy are my favorite. I give or take the Lily and Lo. They're nice, but I think the other two couples, especially Reich and Daisy, are my favorite, and I do want to finish the series at some point. I see why everyone loves it. It's so well written, and Kristen Becker Ritchie just created such a lovable group of characters that are flawed and broken, but so good. So I like this series a lot. It happened one summer. It's no secret on my channel. I did not like this book. I really did not like Piper, the heroine. She was just this rich girl who wasn't used to even like sweeping. And I was like, this is boring. Like, she threw a party and got in trouble because she broke into a pool, and now she has to go to a small town, and I was bored and I didn't like the heroine. I mean, the hero was fine, but I feel like he was a little insensitive to his ex-wife who died, and it was just okay. I don't know. It was fine. Twisted Love. I gave Twisted Love, I think, 3.5 stars, so I don't know if I want to put it in really good. I guess I would put it here. I really liked Twisted Games though, which I did not include in this list. I liked Twisted Games a lot. It's a bodyguard romance. This one was good. Again, the plot is kind of fuzzy on me, so I feel like that also would put it under it was fine. I didn't absolutely love it, but I didn't hate it. I had a good time reading it, but I think the rest of the series are ones I'm going to enjoy a lot more, so Book 2, Bodyguard Romance, really good, and then I think I'm going to love the next 2, and then I also have her new book. So this one, it was okay. The Love Hypothesis is not an all-time favorite of mine, but I really love this book. I did like it better than Book 2. Book 2 was okay. I think I gave Book 2 4 stars, but this one I gave 5 stars. It was so good. Raylo fanfiction, and they have to fake date, and it was so cute. I just love their dynamic together. Again, there are scenes that, again, I remember, so I guess this could go on my mind 24/7, but it's just like such good vibes. I don't know what I want to say. They just had such a cute dynamic together, and I loved Olive's character, and going full circle to what happened in the very first chapter, it was cute. I liked it a lot. What more can I say? It does have to deal with those sexual assault, so please know that. There is a pretty heavy scene in here that has to do with that with someone in Olive's life, so just know that. Corrupt is one of my favorite series of all time. I was reading these when they came out, and I'm obsessed. Kai is my favorite, but Michael, Kai, and Damon's books are so good. Will's, I was pretty disappointed in, but these are just like dark bully romances that, again, are in my mind. The sauna scene literally lives in my mind. So I love this series so much. I love all the guys. It's good. Read this book if you haven't yet. They're long, but they're worth it. Reminders of Him, I did not like. I'm surprised that this is one of her most popular books because this one came out this year and I was bored. I didn't really love the heroine. She went to jail and she had a baby and the father died, and the baby is now living with the father's parents and they won't let her see the baby, and she gets out and falls for the guy's best friend, and it was just okay. Like, I didn't really buy like the chemistry between them. I was really bored by the plot, so this is gonna go under didn't like. I didn't like it. Magnolia Parks is probably the most recent one that's gone viral that I'm obsessed with. So my friends all read this, I read it, and we all love it. No plot, but I don't mind because I'm obsessed with the mess that these characters create. So it's BJ and Magnolia. They're soulmates, but they keep on hurting each other, and I'm obsessed with them. I don't love book 2 as much. I'm still not done with book 2, but book 1 I think about all the time. The fine print, I actually really like the fine print. So I think I like the fine print better than book 2. This one is a kind of like Disneyland romance, and she gets hired to work for him, and it's hate to love, and they're all brothers who have to perform a task in order to get their inheritance after their grandpa dies. So I love the whole Disneyland vibes. Like, I wanted to get on a plane and go to Disney. So it was really cute. I really liked it. Book 2 was fun too. It was a marriage of convenience romance, but not as good, I feel like, as book 1, but I'm excited for book 3. Book I really didn't like. This one I had high expectations for, but it was boring, and I can't really remember a lot about the plot. It was dark, but like not in a good way, and it was kind of mafia, I think, and I had high expectations. I had a friend read it and really like it, but I was bored and not really impressed, so I never continued on with the series. Book Lovers, I feel like I shouldn't have listened to it on audio, but I was really bored by this whole thing. I didn't love it. Like, Emily Henry, I'm just reading because everyone loves her, but at this point, I don't love her romances. This one, I can't even tell you a lot that happened because I was so bored by it. She went to a town. She hated the guy that she saw there because I think they were rivals too, and I'm like, are you trying to be like Beach Read again? I don't know. Not impressed, but I just don't love Emily Henry that much. I love that Ella Mays is super popular. Marriage for One is one of my favorites, but people have been really loving to love Jason Thorne, and that's definitely going to go under really, really good. This one was so good. Like, it was so unique, and I think I read this after reading Marriage for One. I read Marriage for One because the hero on the cover looked like Sam Heughan, so I sent it for an arc of it, and I loved it. And then I read her backlist, and this one, I still have The Hardest Fall to read, but this one I really like because she's a writer, and he is her childhood crush, her brother's friend, and he's now an actor, and he's going to be in her movie, which she wrote based off of him, and so very cute. I loved it. Things We Never Got Over is also really good. I listened to this audio and I was pleasantly surprised. I'm excited to read more by Lucy Score. I feel like this book particularly like just took over 2022, but it's a small town, Grump Sunshine. It was a little over the top, especially with the end with her sister's storyline. Things got a little far-fetched, but she's in town and her sister like terrorizes the town but leaves her daughter, so the heroine has to take care of her niece. So it's like kind of single parent and she's living there and the hero hates her, but they slowly fall for each other and it's really fun. Okay, this is gonna seem a little extreme, but Icebreaker and Putting It Wish I Never Read. I DNF'd it and I'm annoyed that I even got as far as I did because it was very boring. It's a figure skating ice hockey romance and I started it and it was good in the beginning, but the heroine is just adamant. She's like, I don't date, and literally is the only reason why her and the hero were never together. They obviously liked each other, they were hooking up, and then they never got together, at least until what I read. And people were talking a little bit about how some of it's unbelievable because she is an ice skater and she wants to go to the Olympics, but she's skating for a college team and she is not training 24/7. And I'm like, if you were an Olympic level athlete, you would be training 24/7. I DNF'd it. So I just wish I'd never even picked it up. Not that it was like horrible, but it was boring and not at all as good as people say it was. So at least in my opinion, so I didn't love it. Those are my rankings of popular TikTok books. I had a lot more that I liked that I'm surprised by, but I think I do steer clear of stuff I know I'm not going to like. So let me know your thoughts on these. What would go in your highest category? If you agree or disagree on where I put things, I would love to hear. And that's all I have. As always, thank you so much for watching and have a good day. Bye.